NO1 is yes, NO1 is yes. Juliet Oscar November calling. NO1 is yes, NO1 is yes. Juliet Oscar November calling. NO1 is yes, it is 6 Juliet Oscar November. You copy me, Chris?
Copy you loud and clear.
Okay, I'm going to patch them through. Please 1 minute.
This is Owen. How has seeing Earth from its orbit affected you, in your frame of reference when moving around the ISS, or in your perspective of humanity as a whole? Over.
Hi, Owen. That's a great question. Seeing Earth from up here it's a beautiful thing. It's just this peaceful place with no borders there, and you just see this wonderful colors of blues and greens and browns and white clouds and snow-capped mountains. And it really gives you an appreciation for Earth as a spaceship for 7 billion people, just like our spaceship is keeping us alive, and how we need to take care of Earth because it takes care of us. Over.
This is Spencer. What happens if you vomit in the space station? How do you clean it up? Over.
Well, hi Spencer. Fortunately, we are prepared for vomiting in space, and we bring special bags that if we're feeling the urge to go, we use these bags. Occasionally, on the launch, it can surprise you, and but we have bags in the launch vehicle as well. If you didn't make it in the bag, it would be a real mess, and it would go everywhere. It would take quite a bit of time to clean up. Over.
This is Lucas. How has the COVID-19 pandemic affected you while you're in space? Over.
Hi Lucas. The pandemic has affected us because it's affecting our families. Our daily life here on the space station is largely the same with or without the pandemic. We are safe and we are executing our job and keeping the space station running and functioning and keeping ourselves healthy with our daily routine. But we're concerned for our friends and family and loved ones because they're in Russia and in the United States having to deal with it just like you are. Over.
This is Allie. What will be your first meal when you get back to Earth? Over.
Hi Allie. I like to eat, and so I'm looking forward to any food that somebody makes. But one thing we don't have is an oven here, so something that comes out of the oven and you smell those smells and you eat a nice hot meal, that sounds terrific to me. Over.
This is Sawyer. What does it feel like when the rocket lifts off? Over.
Sawyer, when the rocket lifts off, it's this tremendous feeling like somebody's pushing you in your back and shoving you faster and faster and higher into the sky. And there's a few periods of time where our engines change, they're called staging, and there's some bumpiness and a little bit of shaking in the spacecraft during those periods. But the rest of the 9 minutes is just like a giant force is throwing you into the sky. Over.
This is Jordan. What does the space station smell like? Over.
Jordan, the space station has not too different smells than you'd have in a home down there. We try to keep ourselves clean. We try to keep the space station clean. In fact, tomorrow is Saturday, and that's our cleaning day, and we do our best to keep it neat and tidy. But occasionally there's smells where we have to change fluid. A lot of times that has to do with our bodily functions in the toilet, and they can be smelly there. But for the most part, the space station, to me, it smells just like a normal home. Over.
This is Eric. Was training to be an astronaut harder or easier than training to be a Navy SEAL? Over.
Well, Eric, they were totally different. The training to be a Navy SEAL initially was very hard for 6 months. Training to be an astronaut or a cosmonaut is a long process, and it takes many years of hard work. So, and it's more academic, more having to do with your brain. In SEAL training, we had some academics, but largely it was a physical thing. So 2 entirely different programs. Over.
This is Owen. What experiment that you've done had the most unexpected results? What was the expected and actual outcome of said experiment? Over.
Wow, well, and that's a very detailed question. We have lots of experiments going on up here, but one that when I first arrived, we were growing some plants, and I thought that they would grow more than they did. Over the course of several weeks, they were just a small sprout, which surprised me because pictures I had never seen growth in space before on my previous missions. So I'm looking forward to trying that again and getting better results. Over.
This is Spencer. How successful is your 3D printer on the station? Over.
Spencer, we have the 3D printer has been here since I think 2015, a few years, and we printed many parts. We don't have it deployed and active all the time, but when we need to, we can print what we need if it meets the criteria. It's a very effective way of having spare parts in space. Over.
This is Lucas. We're a model rocket building club. Did you ever build model rockets when you were young? Over.
Lucas, I wish I did, but I never had a club or a mentor in my area that was involved with model rockets, so I never really launched a model rocket as a young person, but I think it's great that you guys do. Over.
This is Allie. What does microgravity feel like on your body? Over.
Allie, microgravity is more a feel of how to move around. Your body, in my opinion, feels kind of the same. Everything you do on Earth with your body, eating, going to the bathroom, sleeping, your hair growing, all that stuff is very normal, I think. But moving around in microgravity is not normal, and it takes some practice to get used to how to do it effectively. Over.
This is Eric. Does the Earth look any clearer or less polluted now compared to when you flew in 2009 and with Canadian Chris Hadfield in 2013? Over.
I actually flew with another Canadian, your Governor General, Julie Payette, in 2009. So this is my first mission in space without a Canadian crewmate. But the Earth does not look any different with our eyes than the previous times. And my crewmate and friend Anatoly has been in space several times, and we both have tried to see any differences, and we can't really tell with our eyes. Over.
This is Sawyer. Do you play any games while you are on the ISS? Over.
Well, Sawyer, we're pretty busy people up here. We have lots of work to do during the day, and by the time nighttime comes around, we just have the energy to eat and clean up from our day and prepare for the next day. Maybe make a phone call or something, or answer an email, but we don't have a lot of time to play any games. Probably the closest thing to a game is seeing how straight you can fly without crashing into a wall and how far you can go like this. Over.
Well, I tell you what, for all the folks on the phone, let's go ahead and give Commander Chris Cassidy and the crew on NA-1SS a big round of applause anyway. Sending my greetings along to all of you in traditional amateur radio terms. 7 threes, best wishes, and thank you for participating in this activity. Thank you, everybody. This was just excellent.
Subscribe for more space.